Hey guys, welcome back. Now, this is really a cautionary tale for you guys out there that are thinking about buying a muscle car, an old hot rod, something like that. Have a really good close look at it because there can be stuff, what lies beneath kind of stuff. Now, this car you may be familiar with. This was in one of our earlier videos where we had 3 of these red convertibles in. And in all honesty, this was probably the pick of the bunch, or at least it appeared on face value. We hadn't had it in the air, parked in the car park. This looked like the pick of the bunch. It came in as an ACO GT, which is, had a 4-barrel engine. It's got all the extra bits of trim. It's got the rally pack gauges. It's got the pony interior. It's got all the bells and whistles that a GT has. It's a pretty car. The paint's pretty good. Probably give it a 7, 8 out of 10 for the paint. It's a nice car. Now, today, put her on the rack to get her up in the air and just have a look, check her over. First thing that kind of red flagged me a little bit on this car was the door gap here. As we put it up on the lift, this really opened up. It's like, that's not good. You get a little bit of that gap opening up here when you put any convertible on the rack, regardless of brand. That's kind of a given. But this one was way too much. And it's like, okay, we need to make sure this hasn't got some hidden rust going on. So up in the air we went. So I'm going to go put her up in the air. Barry, you show them that gap opening up. And this old girl's got a little secret she's hiding.
Look at that gap.
So one of the first things you look for on one of these Mustangs is the torque boxes, particularly the front torque boxes. With all the shit getting thrown up off the front wheels, they have a problem with the torque boxes rusting away. And convertibles have a left and a right torque box in them. So looking at this one, the torque box is meant to go here. It's not there, and it's not on the other side either. Now I've been messing with these cars for more than a few decades, and I've never seen a convertible without torque boxes. It's like, that's odd. I wonder if it's some weird pre-production one, because it's an early one, that they hadn't put them in yet. It's like, curious. Keep going back, and everything seems pretty well intact. The floors aren't bad. There's no big holes anywhere. And then I realised, or Barry realised actually, to be fair to Barry, there's big seat braces meant to go here, which are these little puppies here. This car, being a convertible, should have a set of these braces that go up in here, and that ties that to this front chassis rail, which in turn ties it to the rockers, and it's just part of the extra structure that is unique to a convertible. It has one of these both sides. Then it also has this big 1/4-inch plate that goes between the two of them and bolts on, and that's a bunch more added structure. On the inside, the seat bases, which are above here, on the coupes and fastbacks, it has just a small section, like one each side. The convertibles, it's a big piece of metal, which you would have seen us doing on the other convertible we've been working on, goes up and over the tunnel and back down the other side. Again, tying that to the rockers, to the floor, to the other side, it all stitches it together. Not here. That's weird. So we keep going back. Up in the back here, pretty hard to see, but on the back of these convertibles, there's an extra brace goes up in here behind the fuel tank. It's not there. It's like, that's really weird. Almost like it was like looking around underneath a coupe or a fastback. So one more thing that these convertibles have, if you look up in the top of the wheelhouse here, normally there's a little flattened off section to allow the convertible top to drop down in there. It's not very big. This has been beaten within an inch of its life, and it's way bigger than it needs to be, and it just looks ugly. It's messy. It's like, I think this car used to be a coupe, and they've converted it to a convertible, and turns out that's exactly what's happened. You look up inside the convertible roof structure, you can see the welding where it's been cut and welded. We ran the VIN number. Now the third and fourth digit in the VIN number, which is on the inner fender on the driver's side, that tells you what body model it was, whether it's a coupe, a fastback, or a convertible. This is indeed a C code, not an A code, and it was a coupe. So yeah, it's a coupe and drag now. And unfortunately, someone's gone to quite a bit of effort to make it look like a convertible. And they've done not a bad job on what you can see. What they've left is, they've left out all the structure, all the things that the factory put in to beef it up to make it strong enough to be a convertible. And it's not. That's why the door openings are spreading so much when you lift it up, because there's no roof to tie it together. So this is really a sad story. The guy bought it. He got it at a good price. He was pretty happy. It's like, it was a bargain. Okay, buyer beware. If it seems too good to be true, you know, it probably is. And this is a perfect case in point. Look the part, look great. It's actually a coupe. I don't know, no idea when it was done. I don't know if the guy that he bought it off knew. I don't know. But it's certainly been converted at some time. But it's weak. It doesn't have the structure in it that a convertible should have. And that's a problem. That's a problem. And the customer it's one of those phone calls you hate to make, but I had to ring him and tell him that, sorry, but you know, your car used to be a coupe. And so he's taking it home. We kind of stopped working on it now. He doesn't want to invest any more money in it right now. He's taking it home. He's going to reassess his situation and figure out what he wants to do. We can beef it up. We can put all those convertible components in and make it how it should have been. But as you can imagine, it's a few dollars. It's more than a few dollars. But hey, you know, things happen. People get caught. All I can tell you guys, and really try and drive it home to you guys who are not really familiar with cars, if you're going to buy something, if you're going to drop 20, 30, 40 grand on your dream car, spend a couple $100 and get someone to check it out for you, someone who knows. Go to a hot rod shop, you know, not just your general corner garage.